The holidays are coming soon, and as you can tell from the thumbnail, I plan to sculpt Santa's reindeer. These are actually based off of designs I drew years ago. They are human versions of the reindeer, so not actual reindeer. But for this project, I want to turn them into actual reindeer. It's to avoid having to sculpt 9 humans. Sculpting them and being able to own my own collection of reindeer would be amazing. I know 9 detailed reindeer are a lot of work, so I decided to split this project into 2 videos. Part 1, I will be sculpting Donner, Cupid, Comet, and Dasher. Just to note, these 9 reindeer characters are siblings, so I can somewhat chalk up the bullying of Rudolph's red nose to just siblings being siblings. Still not very nice, but it's just what happens. Anyway, let's get to it. For the sketch, I'm translating my human designs into reindeer on the spot. I'm just trying to match the color scheme and personality I have for each of them. I'm actually reading the old descriptions I wrote for them. Donner is the 3rd oldest. He's stoic and quiet, only voicing his opinions on rare occasions. Next we have Cupid. She's the 2nd oldest. She's soft-spoken and super sweet, and can sometimes be a bit aloof. Dasher is the 4th eldest. He's super charming but can be a bit self-centered. And the last one we're making for this video is Comet. He's the baby of the family. Everyone fusses over him, but he can handle himself. He's highly intelligent for his age. I'm loving their designs, I hope you do too.
Sculpting!
Claying up my foil. This first reindeer is going to be Donner. I properly shaped his head and sculpted his ears to glue them on. Smoothing everything out, I then sculpt on his fuzzy cheeks. For his tail, it's a little tuft of fur. I now work on his hair. His hairstyle was originally inspired by Tanjiro's hair from Demon Slayer. I like it kinda slicked back, but in this case it's more so slicked upward. I smooth on all his legs. Then made the poofy chest piece. I gave him a collar and a bell. The most tedious part of the sculpt was smoothing on fur to the hooves. All around for every leg. I sculpted the antlers next and stuck those on. And glued on the mistletoe. Done!
Next.
Now we sculpt Cupid. The structure will be a little different because she's sitting instead of standing, but most of the other aspects are the same. Her tail has a little swirl in it. She has a swirl motif, so there'll be a couple of them. A swirl on her tail, a swirl in her hair, I stuck on her legs next. and worked on her chest poof, which also has a swirl. Her ribbon is made of 2 little hearts, so I made those heart shapes and stuck that on her chest with the bell. Cupid gets 2 mistletoe instead of 1, each one on both sides of her head. Finished Cupid.
Next.
For Dasher, we are back to the reindeer body shape standing up. His cheek floofs are a different shape. They fluff out with pointed ends. He also gets a cute little swirl on top of his head. His chest fluff has a swirl too, but less prominent than Cupid's. It's much smaller. His ribbon is longer and more squared off. I glue that on and place a bell at the center. Putting on his antlers and mistletoe. He's done.
Next.
Comet is the one that has the smallest body out of all of them, since he's the youngest. It's not too visibly noticeable. He still gets a big head though. He has round fluffy cheeks and a similar tail to Donner, but rounder. His bangs are made of 3 big hair pieces that I smooth on. I stuck a curl on top of his head too. Comet's ribbon has 2 tail ends sticking out, so I pop those on before gluing the bell in. He also is the only one with different antlers. He's got 2 prongs instead of 3. I don't know if prongs are what they're supposed to be called. Once I'm done with Comet, All of them can be baked and primed for painting.
Paint time!
Donner is painted with 3 shades of brown, white, yellow, green, and red. I base paint him all dark brown first, and then add the details with the lighter brown and the white. Also adding white to his chest fluff and the back spots. I also painted the hooves on with an extra dark brown. Oh, and I used that color for his eyebrows too. The red is for his collar. I then paint his face. I popped off the antlers, bell, and mistletoe to paint separately. I then painted in the details for the bell. After they're all painted, I glue them back on. Donner is all done.
Next.
Cupid is painted 3 shades of light pink, white, yellow, and green. Her base color is pink. And then I added the details with white. Because her name is Cupid, I painted a little heart above her nose. I draw in her sleepy eyes and eyelashes. Cupid's mistletoe will be pink instead of red. Actually, all of the reindeer have different-ish color mistletoe. I wanted to make them all unique. After gluing all the pieces on, here she is.
Next.
For Dasher, I mixed a couple beiges, red, green, yellow, and white. After painting in the base color, I go in with a darker shade on his ears, nose, and legs. Then use the brightest beige color for his snout, chest fluff, tail, and eyelids. His hooves being the darkest shade of beige. Dasher is for the beige moms. I paint in his winking face. And we can move on to the smaller pieces. His mistletoe is also on the pinker side. Now he's all complete with the pieces glued on.
Next.
Comet is kind of a light orangish color, with 2 shades of lighter orange, purple, green, and a tan brown. I used the brighter oranges for his face design and tufts of fluff. The tan is for his hooves. His expression was meant to be kinda bored, but he ended up looking tired. Comet's mistletoe is purple, a reddish purple. These colors don't even make sense for real mistletoe, but also these reindeer colors don't make sense either. It's all the magic of Christmas. Comet is done. Finished with all the reindeer for the first half of the project. They all came out so good. Kinda like having my own little pet shops. Let's take a look at them all individually. I laughed so hard looking at this comparison because of how short I ended up making him. He looks so regal in the sketch, and in reality he's just a short king. Despite his size, he looks really good. The colors and details are all there. Cupid matches so well with her sketch. I mean, the swirl is in the wrong spot on her chest fluff, but it's no biggie. I'm really happy with this one. She might be my favorite of the 4. Dasher looks so pretty. I think he also looks pretty accurate. I have noticed all the ribbons and bells on their necks are much bigger in the sculpts, but I think that choice was for the best. Oh, I didn't realize how much bigger Comet's hair was. It's not a little fringe like in the sketch. He's also less fluffy. Maybe I made his body so small that he looks malnourished. Sorry, Comet. There's part 1. 4 reindeer were so much work, and I still have 5 more to go. I don't know how I'm going to get these videos out in time. It's been a busy month. If part 2 comes out in January, then I don't know, nothing I can do about that. Either way, I'm looking forward to working on the next batch of reindeer, and I hope you're excited for them too. Oh, and tell me which one you like the most so far. I'm interested in knowing your thoughts on the designs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.
Bye-bye.